Hello, much love, namaste. This is going to be a video about being our authentic selves and first uncovering who that authentic self is. And it's a video about all the different masks that we wear and how to take them off rather than hiding behind them. And so this is a video that I am doing for the month of October, a part of a video series that I'm doing for the month of October. And it's kind of playing on a little pun on Halloween, right? Wearing masks. And I'm doing ones about like facing our demons and fears, like Halloween-y kind of stuff, because these are very serious topics, and I want to bring a little spaciousness and a little light to them, because they are so serious, but that doesn't mean that we have to be so serious in how we approach them. You know, whenever we're able to laugh at ourselves and look at ourselves and just be able to just be who we are in this moment, then that brings up joy. And so underneath all these scary things, all these like blocks and shadows and fears and masks, is joy. That's who you are. It's joy, it's love. So we're talking about masks today, how to take them off and how to return back to who you are and live authentically in every single moment without fear. And so like I said, I have a video on fear that's kind of part of this series, so you might want to watch that as well if you haven't. My name's Rachel, and I came up with this idea from talking with a good friend of mine. I've mentioned it in other videos. And his name is David. He is a success coach, and we are doing monthly calls together that are donation-based, and you can hop on any month that you want. So to see the date and the information about this upcoming month, then you can see the link below. It's all about shifting your reality, transforming into the new you, like accessing a lot of the stuff that we're talking about and using it to transform yourself and your life. So, I wanted to start with a little story, and this is by somebody who's unknown. Yeah. So it's an unknown spiritual story about wearing masks. Don't be fooled by the face I wear, for I wear 1,000 masks, and none of them are me. Don't be fooled, for goodness sake, don't be fooled. I give you the impression that I'm secure, that confidence is my name, and coolness is my game, and that I need no one. But don't believe me. Beneath dwells the real me in confusion, in aloneness and fear. That's why I create a mask to hide behind, to shield me from the glance that knows. But such a glance is precisely my salvation. That is, if it's followed by acceptance, if it's followed by love. It's the only thing that can liberate me from my own self-built prison walls. I'm afraid that deep down I'm nothing, and that I'm just no good, and that you will reject me. And so begins the parade of masks. I idly chatter to you. I tell you everything that's really nothing and nothing of what's everything, of what's crying within me. Please listen carefully and try to hear what I'm not saying. I'd really like to be genuine and spontaneous and me, but you've got to help me. You've got to hold out your hand. Each time you're kind and gentle and encouraging, each time you try to understand because you really care, my heart begins to grow wings, feeble wings, but wings. With your sensitivity and sympathy and your power of understanding, you alone can release me from my shallow world of uncertainty. It will not be easy for you. The nearer you approach me, the blinder I might strike back. But I'm told that love is stronger than walls. And in this lies my only hope. Please try to beat down these walls with firm hands, but gentle hands, for a child is very sensitive. Who am I, you wonder? I am every man you meet. I am every woman you meet, and I am also you. And so this story really sheds a lot of light on the most vulnerable pieces that we all have. And I think we need to start there when we talk about taking masks off. We must realize that the mask is hiding a vulnerable piece of us, and every other person is wearing a mask to hide their vulnerabilities as well. And that's why whenever we say, you can't judge or you shouldn't judge, it's just, you're not even judging that person when you judge. You're not even judging yourself when you judge. You're judging our incredibly deep-seated fear to be authentic, to be vulnerable. You're judging the masks that you see. And judgment in itself is another mask that we put on. So whenever we think about it this way, when you think of every single person in your life, those who have hurt you, those who you rely on, those who you love, what are you loving? What is being hurt within you by that other person? It's a reaction to a mask. When somebody stops talking to you, like that poem said, they're not doing it from a place of genuinely not wanting to talk to you. They're doing it from a mask to shield their own vulnerabilities. We wear a mask every single day that we go outside of our house, and we put on different masks for different people. We put on a different mask when our boss walks in the room. We put on a different mask when we're dealing with our children, when we're dealing with our spouse, when we're dealing with our parents, our siblings, our friends. You might even just sit back and reflect on all the masks that you have in your back pocket that you can bring out in any moment and put on. But why do we put them on? We put them on because deep down we feel like we won't be accepted and we won't be loved unless we're wearing a mask. We wear these masks to please other people because we think that in pleasing other people, we will find happiness. But there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect because we never feel genuine, or we rarely feel genuine. Have you ever experienced anybody in your life who you could truly be yourself around? If you have, you're lucky. What did that person, if you have an example, bring that person to mind. But if you don't have an example, just imagine somebody. How would that person act? What would they say? Like, what kind of energy would you get off of them? It would be kind. It would be loving. It would be one that subtly told you, you're enough as you are. When you made a corny joke, because that's what you really felt like making, they laughed. Maybe they didn't think the joke was that funny, but they laughed because you thought it was funny. They could see your little idiosyncrasies and appreciate them because they're yours. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could all do this for each other? And I believe that we can, but we have to do it for ourselves first. We have to be able to take these masks off and be vulnerable and be there for ourselves in this process. And when we make ourselves vulnerable, then we open ourselves up to get hurt on a deeper level. People might not understand our authentic selves. People might react in a way that we wish they wouldn't. And whenever we put on a mask and they're reacting to an inauthentic piece of ourselves, we still get hurt and we still get angry, but we don't open ourselves up to feel that deep-seated pain like we do if we are truly opening ourselves up and truly being vulnerable. And we've probably all had experiences where we've been vulnerable. Maybe they were way back in early childhood. And you can think about being vulnerable and then somebody not holding your heart as they should have and being hurt. And that's whenever we developed a new mask, because we're like, well, that's not going to happen again. But with all these masks, we can't truly get to know each other. We can't ever be intimate, because it's one mask interacting with another mask. And this is even in our most intimate relationships with your partner. You might even be able to think in relationships, what masks do you wear? You know, do you always think about dating versus a relationship? And, you know, dating is just, it's fun because you're dealing with the masks. You can be anybody on a first date or the first couple months of your relationship. And you know, that other person thinks you're so cool, or that other person seems like they're amazing because they're putting on a mask for you. And then when you get more intimate and the masks start to fade away and you begin to see each other's pain, each other's triggers, each other's true likes and dislikes, not the likes and dislikes that they told you because they wanted you to react well to them. That's when it gets difficult, right? That's whenever you have the opportunity to learn about unconditional love. So dating and infatuation is fun. It's awesome. We all love that stage. But you don't have unconditional love in that stage. You have unconditional love when you can see somebody else with their faults, with their triggers, with their pain, and still love the soul. The piece of divinity or source, that light that's within them, that's beneath all the triggers and the masks that they try and wear. And to be unconditionally loved means that somebody can see past all of your stuff and love that light, that divine light that's within you. And this is not easy to do at all. And it's not, we talk a lot about unconditional love and really loving each other, and we throw the word love around there a lot, but what are we truly loving? Are we loving our expectations of another person, or them living up to their expectations? Our expectations? Are we loving a part of someone? Are we loving parts of ourselves? You know, it's fragmented. But once you can start to allow yourself to be vulnerable, just, not even with anybody else at first, but just with your own thoughts, with your own being, allow yourself to be vulnerable and love it. Allow yourself to be without that mask when you are just sitting and being. I apologize, my memory card got full. But what I was saying is, you know, it's important to be able to be by yourself without the mask at first. And then maybe do something around strangers. Because if a stranger reacts to you a weird way, we might get a little defensive or like, but it's not as severe of an emotional response as we'd feel if somebody we deeply loved and deeply we want them to love us reacts to us in a certain way. So, you know, could you go to the supermarket without your mask on? And what would that look like? What mask do you wear most? Is it a mask of, I really want everybody to like me, I really want people to look at me and think something about me, think that I have a certain amount of money, or I live a certain lifestyle, or I'm a funny person, or I'm a giving person, or, you know, what is that mask that you wear? And can you just go to the grocery store without it on? And just be with yourself in that moment. Be very present with how you're feeling and continue to give yourself space and continue to give yourself encouragement, telling yourself that it's okay to be this genuine person. Can you begin to show up in some of your relationships without a mask on? Do you have a certain group of friends who you always gossip with? Okay, and that's your gossipy mask, right? That's your mask of, this is what we talk about. So I put on my gossip mask. Even though it makes me feel bad or weird, I still put it on and we go for it. Can you show up without that mask on? And what would that be like for you? The thing that you want to remember is you know what's authentic to you, and you know it based on how you feel, based on these emotions. Whenever you are doing something that really doesn't align with you, there is, deep down, if you're mindful and present to it, some indication that it's not authentic to you. And whenever you can start taking off your masks in little ways, then you make room for your more authentic, truest version of yourself to come through. And it might be a time for affirmations or meditations, really building yourself up, saying that who you are is enough. You are worthy, you are deserving. And if you make yourself vulnerable and somebody hurts you, giving space for that, allowing yourself that kind, compassionate space, telling yourself that it's okay. Because being our most authentic versions it's not going to be the easiest. It's not going to feel like the easiest because we're socialized from a very young age to be and act a certain way. We're socialized that how others perceive us is more important than how we feel about something. Because it's evolutionary. We are creatures who are designed to be in a pack, to be in a group. So evolutionarily speaking, we needed to be accepted into that group for our survival, so this is very deep-seated. But we're able now, with this expanded consciousness, and this is really where our evolution is heading, as an expanded consciousness, we're able now to see that that's not serving our best good. So if you get hurt being vulnerable, give yourself space, give yourself love, give yourself compassion. And give yourself some credit for still showing up for who you are, even though it's not easy. And as you take off more and more and more masks, then you align more and more and more with people, with circumstances, with different manifestations of things that bring you, your authentic self, joy and bring you happiness. So I just want to do a very quick guided meditation. It's going to be 4 minutes long, really getting in touch with our authentic self. So if you can close your eyes, then do so. You can also just use this as a time of reflection. I'm an energy healer, so I'm going to be flowing energy to you through this. You might feel it. You may not. It's all good. But just start by taking a couple deep breaths. And can you get in touch with the person, with the beingness that lies beneath the masks? Set the intention. Feel your physical body, your emotional body, and your mental body grounded in this authentic self. How does it feel like to be you? Is there a mask that you are ready to get rid of? What is holding you back from getting rid of it? Allow yourself to feel that vulnerability. And send any of those vulnerable emotions love. What does your heart truly desire? Get in touch with that deepest core center of your being. What does this want for you? What would it look like and feel like if you could be 100% authentic in every single moment? As any fears or doubts arise, we hold them with love, for you are the expansive version. You're not the fear, you're not the doubt, and you're not the masks. You're that which holds all of them, and you're that which can release all of them at any given time. Just breathe in this knowingness. Breathe in this authenticity. This is you. Love this version of you. Love the true self that you are. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them and just feel if there's any more space or you just feel a little different. And this is a little preparation that you can do on your own anytime that you are going into a situation that you want to be your authentic self, but there's fear. Embrace it. You know, it takes some practice when we've spent so much time trying to please everybody else. It's time for you to do what is best for you in the most authentic way possible. Wishing you a beautiful day. If you want any information about healing or readings or any other services, click the link below. My name's Rachel again. Namaste.